October 2022, back out on the road. Today we're in Speyside, or we're at the start of the River Spey. The River Spey is just down behind me there. And I'm at a place that I've wanted to take you to for quite a while. And it's called Dundalave, or Dundalave, which sounds quite funny in Scottish. It sounds a wee bit like doon the toilet, Dundalave. It's a Pictish Gaelic word, it's a Pictish fort. The Gaelic word comes from the Fort of Two Hands. Quite where that comes from, it's a bit hard to know. It is a fort that kind of stands on two hilltops, so that might be where the two hands come from. It might also be because the fort lies between two rivers on a sort of, not exactly a tributary, but it's a good defensive position. But anyway, Dundalave is what the place is called. Not much known about it. It's never been properly excavated. It's thought to be one of the oldest Iron Age hill forts round about, probably around about the same vintage as Dunnad Fort, which is over in Kilmartin Glen on the other side of the country. This is in the middle of the Cairngorms National Park. To give you some idea of the location we're in, I'll point out some of the places. So, off there we have the wee village of Laggan. Beyond that you come to Newton Moor. Down here we've got the A86, which goes all the way through to Spey Bridge over just north of Fort William. So anyway, it is quite an interesting fort. It's reckoned to have been made, don't know how they worked this out, from 5,000 tons of stones, and I'm just going to jump to different points on the fort now to kind of show you how well preserved some sections of the outer wall were, because this was actually, although it uses the natural geology of the hilltop, there was a lot of wall sections that were built, and some of those still remain. A lot of it's fallen down and tumbled down, but there are some good sections of wall, sometimes about 20 foot high, and very neatly built. To give you some idea of the size of Dundalave Fort, that's Aurelian Laggan standing over at its southwest tip, and if I pan the camera back, this is us at the other extreme, looking down onto the River Mashie over there, and behind me up here we've got the River Spey Valley, which you can just see off in the distance behind that cairn. So that's about 100 metres from one side, from one end, northeast end, down to the southwest end. At its widest point it's about 75 metres, but it has a wee pinch point in the middle. So I was just telling you there how there's some sections of this fort that are very well preserved, where the outer defensive wall can still be seen, and you can appreciate just how neatly built it was, and quite how an impressive structure it would have been. This is in the northwest corner of the fort, and I'll just take the camera and show you. So you see here, and as I say, none of this has been properly excavated, so this wall might go quite far down here, but you can see just how beautifully neat the stonework is here. You know, this is the same kind of skill set that the brochs were built with. If I come and look at it from this angle, you'll understand just how neat that is. Now if you move to the outer side of the wall, let's say it's all kind of tumbled down over the years, that's cascaded down. So the wall continues all the way up this side. You can imagine this could have been considerably higher. It's very hard to appreciate. But you see as well just how neat that corner is. So I'll take you around now to the southwest corner of the fort, which is the highest point, and I'll do a wee pan round there and I'll give you a better understanding of the actual shape and layout of the fort. Just before I get up to the top of the fort, I thought I would film this wee bit here, because this is another section where you can perceive how well made the outer wall would be. It also gives you an understanding, as I pan the camera around, as to how difficult this place would have been to attack, because this is the path that now exists. It wouldn't have been here, I don't expect, in the past. There's not really a clear entranceway to the fort, so it's hard to know quite how the guys intended it to be entered. But this is the path that now exists. But look at how steep that hill is. That's more than 45 degrees. That's close to a 60-degree angle. So no one's going to charge up that and attack this fort in a hurry. So this is me stood at the highest point of Dundalave Hill Fort, giving you a bit of perspective of the whole lay of the land. This is the Spey Valley down here, and a big river running along there. And over there where that tree is on the horizon, that's where I was stood when I did the first part of this video. So that gives you some idea of the size of the fort, and it's very steep drop-offs on either side. There really isn't any way of easily attacking this fort, very steep. very steep sides. And there's a wee bit of wall section here, but I think this has been built much later on. I think this was possibly built during World War II, when this was used as a lookout post by the Home Guard, or so I'm told. It seems a bit too neat to have been something that would date from the Iron Age. But the really good sections of wall are up in this corner, and I'll take a little video, but maybe if I stand here and you look down, ooh, you can see very clearly where the wall has been. The lower sections of the wall are much neater. Up here it's all kind of tumbled and it's tricky, but if I come down here, oh, I'm destroying the wall. I'll put that back when I go back. You can see how neatly built this wall is, and this wall stands about 20 foot high in places. Very impressive structure. It took us about an hour and a half to walk up to this. It is a signposted route, but it gets a wee bit confusing in places. But an hour and a half's walk, so not as easy to get to as Donad Fort, which you can practically park beneath. But yeah, fascinating. And it'd be interesting if they ever excavated it, because when they did do excavations at Donad Fort, what they found was that the people who lived in the fort had been trading with people all over Europe. Obviously they were close to the sea, so it might not be quite so easy for these people to have traded. But a very good defensive position that the Romans would have struggled to have taken if Agricola ever came this far north. Okay, that's it for now.